And we're live! Hello all and welcome, and I am the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show! Hooah! So how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. Alright. Okay, so a lot of kooky, crazy shit going on in the news, but first of all, I would like to remind all of you that I am now on BitChute. I've been on BitChute for a while, actually. I'm going to sign up for Minds. I'll post that link soon. I'll let you know when. I'm on BitChute. I'm on SoundCloud. I'm on DLive. I'm on iTunes, though I don't know the exact address. I know that's pretty scatterbrained of me. I know I have iTunes, that my SoundCloud, a while back when I started the account, that it has a connection and my stuff gets posted on iTunes, but I forget where I put the address. If anybody out there knows the address, post it in the comments or send me a Skype at The Realist Philosopher. That's The Realist Philosopher. Just so I can put that in my description as well. I am on other platforms. Please follow me on these other platforms because you never know what's going to happen on YouTube, okay? Any right-leaning, even centrist content is getting banned, is getting censored. So, DLive, BitChute. Also, just visit therealistphilosopher.com. I have a website. I'm going to keep this website for a while. So, yeah, if you want to find me, that's the best way. Or, again, just sign up for BitChute. I know that people are lazy, and they've gotten used to YouTube, gotten set in their ways. You're going to have to get out of those ways because YouTube is becoming more and more Maoist. Every day they ought to put the face of Mao right on the top. Instead of the YouTube, does YouTube have a logo? I don't know. Their YouTube logo ought to be Mao's face, okay? They're becoming ever more politically correct, ever more censorious. So, yeah, follow me on these other platforms to be sure you keep in touch with me, to keep abreast of my content. I get a lot of people contacting me. Oh, what happened to you? I didn't know where to find you. Where did you go? I've been around, man. I've been around for the past year and a half making content nonstop. You just ain't been looking because, you were too lazy, right? You were too apathetic. You were too comfortable. You didn't want to type in my name into a search engine. Oh, that would be so hard. Oh, I was there. You just couldn't be put upon to look. You just couldn't be bothered to do a Google search. So that's on you. But anyway, that's the best way to, keep in contact with me. Also follow me on Facebook and, Twitter. All that stuff's in the description. It's amazing how little people actually look at the descriptions of videos because in every single one of my live streams, which then becomes a video on YouTube, the information is there. You just don't look, which is the problem with leftists, by the way. This new generation of humans that are immune to facts and evidence. Information's there, they just don't look for it, right? Well, in this case, the information is even more easily accessible. It's right below the video. Come on, people, just click description. Click the expand button. You'll see a whole bunch of motherfucking links. How hard is that? All right, enough of that. All right. So I'll get some wacky stories here, all right? Some of my favorite subjects. Well, more and least, but this first story is a doozy. Listen to this. As you know, my show is it's social and political commentary, and I comment on stories that interest me, not so much stories that are popular and big in the news. That's why sometimes I overlook stuff because just didn't interest me, or sometimes it actually gets legitimately overlooked. But usually, it's just not of interest to me. But this is of interest to me. This is so kooky. This is so stupid. This should be a stupid shit video. I should have saved this for stupid shit, but oh well. Listen to this crap. Man wants to buy old cruise ship and turn it into, get this, housing for the homeless. Oh my God, can you believe this shit? Oh my God. I want to have a floating homeless shelter. Hooah! I'm the man. Oh boy. Yeah, you're the man, all right, pal. I'm gonna need some coffee for this. Just spilled some on my leg. Fortunately, it's not uber hot. I cooked it up right before the show, so yeah. All right, this is so dumb. One of the issues that's been affecting the city of Portland, besides too many welfare programs, you mean? Maine is a lack of affordable housing options. Well, that can all be summed up in, that can be summed up very easily. Too many government restrictions. You need to get too many licenses. You need to get, even if you want to make repairs on your own house, you want to add on something to your own house, you have to go to the local government and get permission to do so. You have to get a permit for that. And there's too much government. The government's too big. It's too difficult to build, obviously. Maybe there's not much going on in Portland. So, there's not much demand for housing, perhaps. Yeah. Oh, we got a lot of homeless people. The problem must be there's not enough affordable housing. No. Problem could be that you're offering too many incentives to bring homeless there. Nah, could be that. Couldn't be that. People are not incentive-based beings. If you give them free shit, they're not more likely to show up the next day to get more free shit. Oh, no. And there doesn't seem to be a fix to that problem in sight. It now seems as if one local entrepreneur, however, may be onto an idea that's not only unique, but just crazy enough to work. Well, it's certainly crazy. It'll work in the short term. I mean, yeah, you'll have a place to billet some homeless people for a very short period of time, but I can see myriad problems with this. The man wants to use a retired and unused cruise ship by repurposing it into housing for the homeless. I wonder why this cruise ship is unused and retired. Could it be it's a floating piece of shit? Ken Capron is the entrepreneur behind the entrepreneur. So there's got to be money to be made, right? He's got to be vying for some government contracts, right? Some tax cheddar that he can put into his pocket, because entrepreneurs, unless you're like fucking Jeff Bezos or something, he shits money, right? He shits gold. Unless he's got money to burn, you're not doing something like this, all right? This guy is a small to mid-level entrepreneur. No, he's doing this for profit, okay? To get some government contracts, okay? To get some money from the corrupt government. He's behind the idea that has plans to buy an old cruise ship and dock it in the large harbor at Portland. Well, isn't that a problem right there? Well, I mean, if there's a harbor, if there's a harbor, don't they get regular, deliveries? Don't they get regular goods coming into the country from other countries? I mean, last time I checked, the cruise ship takes up a lot of real estate to dock that thing. Wouldn't you have to take up a lot of real estate, which would impede shipping vessels? I don't know. Or fishing vessels? What do I know? He intends to allow people to live on the boat. Wow, that's a great idea, yeah. In a harbor? So it's either two things. One, the harbor has regular shipping coming in and out, or two, it's a rich person's harbor where rich people dock their, summer yachts or whatever. Oh, yeah. I imagine the rich folks there would have no problem with thousands of homeless people coming in and out of their wonderful dock area day in and day out with all that wonderful, expensive equipment on those beautiful, expensive boats. Yeah. No problem with that. I foresee no issues there. Yeah, I'll let people live on the boat, and it would essentially create a floating neighborhood for the city. Neighborhood? Yeah. Like those neighborhoods in L.A. or San Diego where people are shitting on the street and crapping on escalators because they want to watch the shit get sucked down into the mechanisms. It would do more than fill a gap for affordable housing. Okay, you do know that most people who are homeless are not homeless because they could afford affordable housing, but there's none in their area. The majority of them are homeless because they want to be. They've chosen to be. They don't want to work, or they like their drugs and their alcohol more than a job. You do know that, right? I guess he doesn't know that. He's probably a bleeding heart liberal idiot, which is hard to believe. He's an entrepreneur. Oh, okay. There are a lot of these entrepreneurs are bleeding heart liberal fools. All right. So, yeah, the cities would not have to worry about locating it on dry land. Yeah, instead put it in an environment that has 100% humidity. Yeah, that's rope right, with dirty people who are shitting all over the place. I foresee no issues with disease there. We're looking at 4 populations: the homeless population, the low-income population. He's breaking up homeless into different classes. I love it. How elitist of him. The workforce population and the immigrant population all need housing. Need housing. Well, if they need it, we should, of course, give it to them because, from each according to their abilities, to each according to their needs. By the way, they tried that in Soviet Russia. It didn't work because everybody turned into a lazy sloth and nobody did anything. So they had to change it around so the people would still produce. They all need job skill training. We would offer that on board, Ken Capron told. Okay, so he's looking to get a whole bunch of government grants, right? Education grants, and he's thinking he'll clean up off this boat. Capron has given this concept a lot of thought, and the mayor seems open to the idea. I'll bet he does. Kickbacks. Excuse me. The cruise ship would be repurposed and split into 5 decks. Each deck would include a minimum of 100 housing units. 100 housing units and offer plenty of room with little adjustments necessary. It's a creative idea, Capron told. This is a solution to so many problems. Yeah. Don't I recall hearing about a whole bunch of outbreaks of Ebola and or some other fucking bacterial infections, viral infections, illnesses on these cruise ships? A whole bunch of them. Don't these cruise ships have problems with ventilation? Don't they have problems with illness and disease and bacteria and germs? You're sitting in the middle of the ocean. What do germs and bacteria and viruses need other than a warm environment? Moisture. 100% humidity. You're on the fucking ocean. Brilliant idea. Oh, fucking A. These homeless people are going to get sick and fucked up and be dying. I hope you have a hospital on this thing, too. It's great. Perhaps one of the questions that really needs to be answered is who will pay for the cruise ship and the necessary adjustments? Well, of course, it'll be the taxpayer. I mean, he might make an initial investment, but the continued upkeep, that'll be paid by you and me. Capron is sure that the plan is financially feasible. Unless you're paying for it with investors, how? In true entrepreneurial spirit, he stepped outside the box and thought of a way for people to do it with an option that was unique. I have no idea if it's the craziest idea I have ever heard, but the most brilliant idea I ever heard. But why is that repeated twice? That pisses me off. People, that wasn't me. That's repeated twice here in the same sentence. But what I like about it is that he's coming up with creative ways to figure out how to build housing in the city of Portland, said Mayor Ethan Strimling. He's getting some money. He got a big envelope of cash in his mailbox. Wait. Well, where's the explanation for how it's going to be paid for? In true entrepreneurial spirit, he stepped outside of the box and thought of a way for people to do it with an option that was unique. But how is it financially feasible? Capron is sure that the plan is financially feasible. How? I was expecting him to tell me how, but there's no how. Jesus. Don't these ships cost like $100 million to build? I mean, he's saying it'll be relatively easy to retrofit this fucking thing, but you're talking about tens of millions of dollars for this shit. Oh, my God. Yeah, of course, the mayor thinks it's brilliant. And he's getting a lot of money, or she. There's tons of hurdles that anyone would have to overcome to do this, but once again, I need housing. No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop offering so much welfare. I bet there are a bunch of homeless shelters and soup kitchens and a whole bunch of services, whole cottage industry that's being funded by tax dollars in Portland. Just get rid of that shit. The homeless will go away because, there won't be anything to incentivize them to come to Portland, okay? Or to stay on the street. You remove the incentives, a lot of these people will go back to work. It's that simple. You want to get rid of the illegal immigration problem in America? Just stop giving these people free shit. You want to get rid of homelessness? You want to get rid of homelessness in any meaningful way? Stop giving these people free shit. Nah! We want to continue to give them free shit and virtue signal and feel good about ourselves and get the votes of the bleeding heart liberal Democrats, so we have to continue to give them free shit. But we want to give them more so we can feel even better than we already do. Yeah, this is insane. I need housing. If people want to bring crazy, creative, far-fetched ideas to me, I'm happy to hear them out. Yeah, and to pay tax dollars for it, too. The idea is still alive and active. There are many challenges and hurdles to overcome, but the entrepreneur has already applied for a grant that would move forward with an independent feasibility study. So he's looking to make money off this, okay? He's looking to get government cheddar, government contracts. If anything gets the green light, he intends to go forward with the plan and present it to the city before long. The Miami Herald is saying that the initial idea has received a positive reaction. A used cruise ship would cost anywhere from $5 to $100 million. Well, I guarantee you it's not going to be the 5. I've seen this ship. It's not for sale for $5 million. Okay? If it was $5 million bucks, some wealthy person out there would have bought it and converted it to their own private yacht. Okay, it's gigantic. It's bigger than any yacht I've ever seen. Bigger than any yacht I've even seen a Saudi prince driving around, or having his paid captain drive around. More than 1,000 people could fit on board, and it may be the first of many floating communities. Yeah, we'll just ship them out to sea. Yeah. We'll just ship the homeless out to sea. We'll all buy a whole bunch of freight ships and convert them, and the old cruise ships and convert them, and get all the homeless out of America and have them floating around on the ocean. That's a great idea. They'll all get scurvy. And all these other horrible illnesses, and then most of them will die. And homeless problem solved until we create a new batch of homeless, because, of course, they're going to continue to have the same incentives to become homeless. These ideas may seem crazy at first, but when you consider the homelessness rate nationwide, it's really one of the first viable ideas to come out in many years. Yeah, put homeless people on boats. Yeah, that's brilliant. I wonder why nobody came up with that. It's not the first time that somebody thought about using a boat as a form of permanent shelter. But in Portland, it may just be the most well-thought-out option. Yeah, those are rich people. Okay? Those are rich people with nice big yachts that their idea of sailing around the world is having a cooler stocked with Dom Perignon, lobsters, crab, servants on board, captain, a maintenance crew, and they're floating around the world in style. Okay? Those are the people living on boats permanently, okay? He's hoping that his initiative will inspire other cities to consider similar housing opportunities. Using retired cruise ships. I can only imagine the number of nasty, skeezy fucking germs and viruses on this old ship. Oh my God. I have heard multiple stories of people on these older ships getting sick, some of them dying. Why do you think these things are retired? It's not safe enough for paying passengers, but for the homeless, it'll do. We'll get her done. Yeah. Woo! The project is named Hope Harbor. Yeah, well, this motherfucker's going to sink at sea, just like the Titanic, okay? And it may have a positive impact on the homeless population in the city of Portland. You want to know what the most positive impact you could have on the homeless in the city of Portland? Get rid of all the homeless shelters, soup kitchens, and all fucking welfare for these people until they have to rely on private fucking charity, which is, unlike governmental aid, discriminating in who they give help to, okay? So they'll help the people who would be helped by help, and they won't help the people who are career bums and only want to graft off the fucking system so they can continue to be lazy losers, okay? Let me explain something to you here. I need to chug a coffee first. All right, look. You used to have private charity, all right? Early 1900s, okay? You had community organizations where community aid organizations where everybody in the neighborhood would contribute. And if somebody who was participating within that community aid organization got hurt or something, he would go before this board of trustees, these people that ran it, and they would look at his case. Okay, you got X amount of kids, you broke your leg, we'll give you help until your leg heals, and then you get back on your feet. That's it. We wouldn't give you free food, free health care, free medicine, free cable, Obama phone, free rent, bus pass, whatever you need. No, we would help you to get back on your feet so that you can then help yourself. That was it. That was how it worked, okay? We didn't just give it out willy-nilly to ever needed it. I need it. No, they would ask why you needed it. They wouldn't just give it to you. Well, I need it. Why do you need it? Because I don't feel like working anymore. I like AOC. I like Ocasio-Cortez. She seems to think it's perfectly okay for people who are unwilling to work not to work, and for those people to be financed by the people who are productive and do want to work, right? So I just want to sit back and take government cheddar. Denied. No soup for you. No soup for you. You're going to have to either sleep outside, sleep in the gutter, or get a fucking job. You'll have no food. You're going to get wet. You're going to get sick. You're going to get cold. You're going to die. Or you're going to get a job, bitch. That's how it used to work. And guess what? We had no real homeless problem, okay? You had a few drag bums who were such lushes that they wouldn't give up that bottle no matter what. And you know what happened? They died pretty quick. Cirrhosis of the liver. Bop, they're gone. They were never a drain on society to begin with because nobody was financing their sloth and laziness. And that should be the case now, too. But oh no! We got all these bleeding heart liberal motherfuckers running around wanting to finance homelessness so that they can have a cottage fucking population industry of people who are always there to feed their fix. I need a feel-good fix. I'll help this person. Ooh, that felt good. I'm so righteous and virtuous. And I'm so morally superior to you evil conservative scumbags. Many of whom also believe in helping the homeless. You know how you help the homeless? Give them a kick in the motherfucking ass, tell them to get a job, and take away all their free little fucking goodies. Watch how fast they get employed. All right, that's enough. I've had enough. I can't take any more. One homeless story a day is enough. Oh, fucking A. All right, let's move on. This is funny. This is great. I'm a Christian girl, and I'm not a feminist. It's great. No wonder the left hates Christianity. Because God did not intend for women to be equal to men. Woo! I like her already. It is okay for me to not want to be equivalent with a man. Yeah, you're not a man. And equal meaning same, okay? So, to start off with, I'm not writing this to bash feminists. I'm reading this to bash them. Your goal might not be to bash them, but that's my goal. Or get hate messages. I am simply writing this to state why I do not perceive myself as a feminist, because you're not. Well, she probably is to some degree. She probably believes in voting rights for women without having to sign up for the draft or serve in combat. I don't think that the draft is enough. I mean, it looks like the women will be required to get the draft. Whoop-de-fucking-do. The draft will probably never be used again, so whoopee, right? Ladies are like, well, it looks like there'll never be a war. Well, there'll be a draft again. So, why don't we push for that equality that we've been pretending to be for? Okay. And then we can get more women into easy jobs in the military, jobs that would be better suited for men and done better by men, but this is a good push to employ more women and get us more street cred for the feminist movement. Get more life into it. Yeah, woohoo! Make us look like we're for equality when we're really not, because we know that the draft will never be used again. So what's the big deal of actually getting the draft now in 2019 when most wars are going to be fought fucking remotely by drones and shit? What do they care? Oh, yeah, the feminists are pushing for it now. Really? Really? Yeah, big fucking deal. There'll never be a draft. And when they do get into the military, what do? Nothing. They're on the rear lines. Still more than like 98% of fucking combat casualties. So guess what? Men. Yeah. Men are still 49 times more likely to die in the military than women. So whoop-de-doo, you let women in. We already got plenty of women in the military right now who signed up voluntarily. They're not dying because they're not being put in combat. The women that are dying, it's like, unforeseen, right? Some convoy behind your lines gets ambushed unexpectedly via guerrilla tactics or some IED or something. But they're not being put into combat. They're not being put into harm's way. So they're like, okay, yeah, draft, whatever. We still won't see combat, so what do we care, right? Yeah. You show me some guarantee where 50% of the women in the military are going to be in combat, then I'll rethink the whole voting rights thing, okay? March is International Women's Month, and that is what has got me thinking about how I view myself as a young woman in the 21st century. I enjoy every day getting to soak up the world as a young lady, particularly in the South. That's why they hate the South. aside from the whole abortion thing. It seems like most southern states are opting for anti-abortion laws. Yeah, got that cookie broad, Alyssa Milano, running around telling people to boycott the South. Good luck with that, honey. Good luck. If you know me, then you know that I love and utterly adore Jesus. This is my problem with Christian broads, okay? I'm an atheist. And by the way, guys, if you are ever going to find a real woman who hasn't been infected by the brain-devouring pathogen that is feminism, you're going to find them in the Catholic Church, okay? Or the Christian Church, whatever. That's probably the last safe haven where you might find a needle in a fucking haystack. But I'm an atheist. I couldn't be with some broad that believed in God. I'd be thinking she's a dimwit. And she's not as smart as me if she believes in God, okay? A lot of people argue, though, that people are able to, partition their mind, and they have this confirmation bias, and, they're able to, turn off the logical, critical reasoning parts of their mind in regards to religion that they use in every other way. So even smart people can believe in God. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's some examples of people out there who are pretty intelligent that believe in a God, but I don't think I could get past the whole, I believe in a ferryman in the sky who magically whipped up the universe because he just thought about it. Or maybe he took a dump, and we're that dump. Maybe that's why he doesn't give a shit about us, because we're just shit to him. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. There's no evidence for any of it. It's just wishful thinking. All right, anyway, yeah, she adores Jesus. Yeah, make-believe, dude. You might as well adore Harry Potter, who she probably likes also. He's so perfect! Yet that's because he was created to be perfect. And he's not really perfect. Have you read the Bible? He tells slaves to obey their masters. That seems like a tacit approval of slavery to me. He's everything. He's my whole life. Maybe you need to get a new life, sweetheart. Well, what am I saying? She's not a feminist. I can't complain too much. Some people might say, I'm a Bible thumper. Or someone who has had too much Kool-Aid. And maybe I am. But I know who my creator is. Your mom? Your dad? And that he died for me, and that is all that matters. Your creator turned himself into a human being and killed himself, sacrificed himself to forgive mankind for all his sins. But he created everything, so couldn't he just decide to forgive us all without killing himself and sacrificing himself to himself? And by the way, what the fuck was happening to the universe, which he was supposed to be running like fucking clockwork, like a fucking clockmaker, turning all the little gears and making sure all the fucking screws are perfectly tight and making sure everything is running well and balanced and, this right amount of chaos, this right amount of order, making sure that everything is running like a fine Swiss watch. What was happening to the universe? What was happening to the universe while he's spending 30 years on Earth pretending to be a man? And by the way, what's he sacrificing if he knows he's a god? Well, I'll just suffer some pain as a man and then go back to being a god again. And I'll just leave the universe to its own devices for 30 years. Well, I party and get it on with Mary Magdalene and shit. Yeah. It's so ridiculous, so retarded that if you take any critical look at it, it's the dumbest idea. I do not believe God meant for women to be equal to men. Well, we agree on something at least. There, I acknowledge the elephant in the room. It is a shocker, I know, but I have some biblical evidence to back up this belief that I have. And I have some evidence that Voldemort is real. You know where it comes from? The same type of evidence you've got for your God. Again, I shouldn't complain. She sounds almost like the ideal Wayman. Maybe she's trying to sell herself and find a guy. I don't know. Maybe she's just a Christian who's doing Christian virtue signaling signaling about how wonderful and great she is so she can find a husband, or if she's already found a husband, maybe she's just bored. I don't know. And this is her own type of virtue signaling. Who knows? Biblical evidence. Yeah, I can open up the book of Harry Potter. Page 387, book 3, talks about Voldemort. He makes an appearance. Same evidence for your God. Put the Bible. How do you know the Bible's right and real and true? Because the Bible says so. Circular logic. Oh, okay. I shouldn't make fun of her, really. I mean, she means well, and she is not a feminist. So, yeah, I should take it I should take it easy on her and not rip to shreds her ideology, her dogmatic ideology, because it turns out that Christianity has been through a lot of reformations to reach the point it's at, and that it's a hell of a lot healthier than it used to be, say, 100, 200 years ago. And it's a hell of a lot less harmful than leftism is today. Yes, she has biblical evidence. Let us begin in Genesis. God created man, and then he created woman. This was two separate occurrences, and order is key. He created Adam and then Eve. Yeah. Created Eve from the rib of Adam, and that's why women have an extra rib, yada, yada, yada. So Adam had 13, and then God took one, and then Adam only had 12, and then she had 13. What? Do women have 13 ribs even? That's an uneven number, isn't it? How does that work? Anyway, Jesus treated women with grace and kindness. Do not get me wrong. I mean, just look at how he treated the woman at the well, the one who used all of her expensive perfume to cleanse his feet, and not to mention his own biological mother. Yeah, he was good to his mom because she was good to him. So what? The Virgin Mary. Don't get me started on that one. He has a truly unique place in his heart for women. He has? What are you using present tense for, sweetheart? Even if this guy ever existed, which there's actually no really valid, legitimate evidence for his existence, despite all these idiots talking about, oh, there's evidence. There's evidence of the trial. There's evidence of a trial where Caesar sentenced a man named Jesus. Yeah, that was a fairly common name back then, okay? It certainly wasn't uncommon. I mean, there's no evidence that's just because that name existed for somebody who was sentenced at a particular time, was in a historical record that was actually the Jesus of the Bible. And, even if it was, just saying that this guy existed doesn't in any way, shape, or form prove he's the Son of God, prove he performed any miracles of any kind. I mean, do you have some VHS footage? Do you have some camera footage? Do you have any footage? Do you have anything? Do you have any corroborating witnesses? Anything proving this guy existed and that he performed miracles? Nah. It's just one book. One book. Oh, yeah, great evidence. Yeah. He has a truly unique place in his heart for women, but he also has special intentions for us in the world and in the family setting. Right. We are to submit to our husbands. What? Oh, my God. How old is she? I think I got to find her. This is a rare broad. Oh, my God. We are to be energetic, strong, and hardworking. That's not generally how women are, okay? They've got all these nice little goodies, right? These nice privileges in the world, affirmative action, preferential treatment. They've got it pretty easy, actually. They got a free ride if they want it. We are to be busy and helpful to those in need. I'm not for altruism. We are to be fearless. Okay. All this is explicitly laid out by God in Proverbs 31. I read the Bible ages ago. I don't remember these fucking passages, though. Reading it once was enough for me. Oh, my God. We are not to be equal to our male counterparts. Jesus does not lay out the Proverbs 31 man, but he rather lays out Proverbs 31 women. A husband or man is to be the head of the household as Christ is to the church. A man is to love a woman so deeply that represents how he loves himself. Well, I can agree with that, okay? In fact, that's pretty much on par with, that makes perfect sense. I've been saying that for years. That doesn't mean Christianity's right, by the way, just because there's something, one little tidbit you can find in the Bible that makes sense. Give me a break. You can pick and choose little tidbits if you want, but you'd be better off studying philosophy, which Christianity is not. Essentially, what that is saying is that, you love others for their virtues, the virtues that match the virtues that you possess. A man is to leave his father and mother. Don't live in your parents' basement, neckbeards, okay? Women and men are not equal in God's eyes, but they each represent him in their own ways. Okay, wait a second. Did I leave that open? Okay, I closed. For a second, I was thinking I left the pictures of the cruise ship up. Whoops. I've done that before, so just checking. All right. Yeah. So if we were all equal, we would not need one another, and therefore we would not need God. Yeah, if we were all the same, we wouldn't need each other. There's a point to that. We complement each other, right? Our differences complement each other. Makes sense. I am so thankful that we were not created equal. I am so thankful that God is so great that he could not just create only man or woman to represent his image. He is so perfect. I don't even know what perfect is, so, no flaws. What does that look like? What does that mean? How boring must that be? So, you see, I'm not a feminist, and it's okay. It is acceptable for me to have this belief that God intended for men to lead women. That's true, by the way. That is true. People like to talk about and make fun of and mock people of the past. What, just because they didn't have advanced technology? But they were wiser than a lot of people are today. They understood shit, man. There has been an order of man and woman for millions of years, okay? Men understood the order of things very well in the past. It's only today that passing on of knowledge from father to son has been broken because we've had so many fatherless households that people don't understand that people of the past knew their shit. That's why the left, by the way, is trying to get history out of schools. That's right. That's why they're trying to get history out of schools and fathers out of homes, okay? So men will be weak and they won't understand the natural order of things. They have no father to make them strong and teach them these vital lessons. To feminists and those that are not, you are allowed to believe whatever you wish, but have evidence to back it up. Well, history backs up the fact she's right, okay? I mean, look what happens when we let women and cravens and cowards and feminine people run society, right? You get communist utopias with 200 million dead bodies. Yeah. All right. I should have grabbed a picture of this broad. If I recall, she was pretty good looking, too. If she was a fat blob, maybe she'd be a feminist. Seems like good-looking broads are less likely to be feminista. Imagine that. All right, let's move on, shall we? Woman who accused man of assault after he fixed her car admits making it up. Now, she's a feminist. And I didn't save her picture, I should have, but she's a blob. Ugly, disgusting blob. Big surprise. I want people to believe that I'm worthy of being assaulted, even though I'm a big fat pig. It ceases to amaze me. And this reminds me of that one case of that big fat land whale in the UK that accused like a dozen guys of raping her. And it took a dozen guys being accused for the police to get suspicious. I would have been suspicious the first time. This big, gargantuan, 400-pound woman with cankles and thighs. What would you call the neck? Chineck? Where the chin and the torso are just like one unit. There's so much fat there you can't delineate the neck from the shoulders. This big gigantic blob, fucking Jabba the Hutt looking creature comes in and says, "Some man raped me!" Really? Why? Woo! Yeah, I believe that. But it took them 12 fucking times before they got suspicious. This big, disgusting blob just came in and said she got raped for the 12th time. Maybe we need to investigate this. They investigated and found, whoa, she lied all 12 times. Imagine that. They had a bunch of guys rotting in prison. Now she's in jail for like 10 years. I don't think it's enough, by the way. She should get all the jail sentences that all the guys she accused would have gotten, which means, of course, she would be in jail forever, which would bankrupt the UK because she would eat them out of house and home if they had to finance her meals. So women lie. Women lie. Imagine that. Incentivize lying, and people will lie. Give Blasey Ford $1 million to lie about Brett Kavanaugh. Woo! Liars start popping out of the woodwork. Shocking. He stopped to help the woman and spent 2 hours fixing her car. Yes, a stranger's car. He says because he did that, his life has been destroyed after the woman falsely accused him of sexual assault. Kenan Basic. His last name is Basic, B-A-S-I-C. Basic. See, he's a basic dude. Okay, I can get with that. Kenan Basic spent 2 weeks in a maximum security prison just on the word of a woman. I love it. Female Sharia. Man's word is worth half of a wayman's. Lost his job and is going through a divorce after a 19-year-old woman accused him of assault. Basic noticed the teen in distress last November. Yeah, by the way, guys, never, ever help a woman. I'm sorry if this sounds horrible or bad. It's not worth the trouble. You see some broad getting beat up? Not my problem. I mean, if you saw some dude getting beat up, would you stop and help? No! Besides, you might get killed. Is it worth it to die for some Wayman who you don't know? Fuck her! She's equal! She's equal to you! It's not your job to help her. She wanted equality. She would me too you if it got her some kind of benefit. And you would help this creature? Get the fuck out of here. Get some self-esteem. Fight your natural instinct to help these Waymen, okay? They have to learn. They have to learn that if they want to continue to attack men and belittle us to the point where we're totally ineffectual as human beings so they can compete with us and steal our jobs and steal our livelihoods and take away our place in the world, they have to learn that there's consequences for that. They have to learn. And the consequences are less palatable than what they think they're gaining by destroying masculinity, which they brand as toxic. They need to learn. They need to learn. There have to be consequences to their actions. So let them suffer consequences. You see some broad with a broken down car? Keep driving. She can change a tire. She can fix an engine. Let her do it. Women and men are equal, right? Men are not better with mechanical things. Oh, no. Even though I remember when I was back in America a long time ago, I took my car to get repaired. And they had some lesbian fucking mechanic work on my car that I didn't know was a lesbo, and I didn't even know was a woman. And I remember when I got my car fixed, they pointed her out. Whoa, that's the best female mechanic. If I had somebody fix my car, I'd want her to fix it. And I was like, where? He's like, that's her. Where? That's her. That's not a her, that's a dude. He's like, no, that's a she. Really? And then my car was all fucked up. She fucked my car up, did thousands of fucking dollars in damage. I had to take it somewhere else. Oh my God. She fucked up the bearing. She put the tires back on wrong. The whole thing was jimmying and shaking. Cost thousands of dollars to replace the bearings. There was nothing I could do because I couldn't prove any connection between them and the damage to my car. They denied it. It wasn't worth suing them. Yeah, don't let a woman fix your car, people. But they're equal! You ever see a fucking a garage with a female mechanic? Run. Go somewhere where it's all men, covered in grease, dirty. That's the mechanic you want. But don't help these broads. Yeah, so Basic noticed the teen in distress last November and stopped to help her after she crashed her car and pulled into a petrol station in the southwest of Sydney. Maybe he's a chubby chaser. She was fat. And maybe he was looking to get her number or maybe hook up with her. So what? There's nothing wrong with that, right? Maybe he was hoping for her phone number. Maybe he was hoping that, helping her would get him some kind of preferential treatment in her eyes. By the way, gentlemen, that never works. Never. Women do not appreciate help. Women these days are entitled creatures. They're getting help everywhere. They're getting help from the state. They're getting help from their parents. They're getting help from mommy, daddy, boyfriend, sugar daddies, you name it. So, your little pleb help, okay. You fix my car. Be gone, pleb. Be gone. It doesn't mean anything to them. You're not going to get any pussy by fixing their car, okay? Trust me. Yeah, so the man, a 36-year-old father of one, spent 2 hours, wow, thirsty fucking guy, helping the woman get her car back on the road. CCTV footage, wow. Okay, so there was CCTV footage, but he spent 2 weeks in jail. That's crazy. Wouldn't you go and check the footage at that mile marker on that highway before you put this guy in prison? I mean, we can't be bothered now. We'll put him in a jail cell. We'll put him on ice because whatever a woman says must be true, and then we'll wait 2 weeks to check the CCTV footage to make sure she's not lying. Yeah. Uh-oh, egg on her face. Turns out she was lying. Well, nobody's perfect. But we still have to continue to believe all women and do no investigation because that's easier for us. God, if we had to investigate every motherfucking allegation of sexual assault, we wouldn't be able to do anything else. That's another problem, by the way. And that's one of the reasons why this believe women shit has become so prevalent. Because women, the number of sexual assault allegations has skyrocketed by thousands and thousands of %. Cops can't be bothered. They have fucking murders to investigate. They have real rapes to investigate. They have violent crimes, drug crimes to investigate. They really can't be bothered to investigate all these spurious sexual assault allegations. So, we'll just put the guy on ice. And then we'll get to it, okay, when we have time. Yeah, always help people, all my life. And this is the first time the snake bit my hand, he said. The man followed the teen a short distance in his car to make sure she didn't break down again. What a pussy. The teen. She's a blob. I saw the pictures. Thighs rubbing together. I mean, I expect if this broad tried to run, that a fucking bonfire would break out between her legs from the fucking friction. He was into this? Oh, hey, talk about low standards. I guess maybe he's a chubby chaser. That's a kink, by the way. Yeah, that's a kink. That's a fetish where guys are into fat broads. Maybe that's the case. To his surprise, the woman told police Basic indecently assaulted and stalked her. She wanted $1 million. It worked for Blasey Ford. Why wouldn't it work for her? Oh, CCTV cameras. Oh, no. Oh, and I'm telling the police exactly when it happened. Meanwhile, Blasey Ford can't remember where it happened, when it happened, who drove her home, who was at the party. I can't remember anything except Kavanaugh, who raped me. Fucking bullshit. You have to be a total retard to believe this woman. And this woman, too. She claimed he propositioned her for sex in return for his help before following her and then propositioning her again. By the way, that's not a crime. How is propositioning someone a crime? Want to have sex, honey? Rape! You ladies very soon are going to be getting no sex, okay? Yeah, you wonder why people are just pumping and dumping you. And then you become jaded and angry and bitter towards men. This is why. You're unmarriageable material. You cannot be married. You're not marriage material. You're not relationship material. You're not anything material. You're not even pump and dump material anymore. Because this is what could happen. The man faced serious sexual charges for propositioning a woman? Really? You can't say to a woman, let's fuck. I mean, that would be pretty crass. That doesn't work, by the way. Fuck what you saw in movies. That don't work. But, yeah, doing that's a crime. By the way, this guy didn't do that, okay? Yeah, he faced serious charges and spent 2 weeks in Silverwater Prison. Because of the ordeal, he lost his job and is going through a divorce. After 2 weeks, he was proven to be not guilty. So wouldn't his wife come back? See, there, yeah, something was going on in that fucking marriage. There were already problems. Otherwise, she wouldn't have left just like that. Or if she did leave just like that because she believed it, she would have come right back after she found out that he was innocent. So there were other things going on. So this probably isn't to blame. This might be the straw that broke the camel's back. But, if the marriage was strong and intact to begin with, she would have come back. Or not even left because she would have believed him and had faith in him and stuck behind him and stuck with him. Anyhow, no one would ever expect that as a good Samaritan, stopping to assist a broken-down motorist, that you would then subsequently be charged with serious offenses. Basic's lawyer, Mona El Baba, told 7 News. Wow. So this guy had to hire a lawyer, too? I mean, he was no rich guy anyway. He's probably bankrupted him. I mean, he lost his job. He's bankrupted. His wife left him. Oh, my God. This broad needs to go to prison for multiple years. Of course she won't. She'll get a pussy pass. She'll start talking about, oh, my daddy abused me. And, this guy resembled my daddy who abused me. And because of transference and reasons, I thought he was my daddy. And it was transference. Yeah, I was taking out my anger and frustration and aggression against my father against him. So you can't put me in jail. Not guilty. $250 fine. Pussy pass. Yeah, women have no agency. Didn't you know that? Anyhow, on Monday, all charges were dropped after the woman broke down when pressed by detectives in an interview and admitted she'd made up the accusations. Why didn't they just go check the footage? They know where cameras are, and they know the location this happened. Why not just check the camera footage? Oh, can't be bothered. We can't be bothered. This guy could spend forever in jail, but he's just a man. And believe Wayman, I feel happy because I got my freedom, Basic said. So he got his freedom based off of her breaking down and feeling guilty, not because the police did their fucking job? Oh, but women are oppressed. They have no power. Men have all the power. We're in a patriarchy. How the hell could this happen in a patriarchy? Are you kidding me? The teen now faces a charge of knowingly making false or misleading statements and will appear in court next week. You committed a horrible crime, miss. but you admitted that you lied, so I'll show mercy on you. 1 year probation, suspended, $300 fine, suspended. Have a nice life. Yeah, you showed contrition by admitting that you lied, so I'll take that into account and look for any excuse possible to give you a pussy pass. Yeah. As for the Good Samaritan, he says the incident has taught him a valuable lesson and deterred him from helping young women ever again. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. Guys, let me explain something to you. There's only 2 reasons that guys help women in distress. 1, because they genuinely want to help because of that biological imperative that's built into us from millions of years of evolution. Or 2, you think you're going to get pussy. Now, number 1, the biological aspect, we're not living in the Stone Ages anymore, okay? Saber-toothed tigers and regular tigers and lions and whatever else was running around back then, eating us and killing us. It was kind of important that we protect the waymen, because if we didn't protect the waymen, all the waymen, not just our waymen, humanity would die out. It's not a risk anymore. Not really, okay? So, that's what the cops are for. That's what other dimwit blue pill losers are for. Let them help. Let their pasty-faced, pansy-ass, male feminist boyfriends help them when the predators come for them, if they have one, which they probably don't. Or let these women learn how to defend themselves because they keep saying how they're equal. Well, make them stand up and show it or shut up. They keep saying they're equal. They keep saying they can take care of themselves, as I continue to see these stories day after day of these women traveling alone to foreign countries and then vanishing. Or these women going out at night by themselves vanishing. I don't need no man. Yeah. The world isn't full of predators. Even in the civilized West, there's no predators. Oh, no. And if there are predators, it's men. So we just have to socially re-engineer men to stop being evil predators. Yeah, make them weak. What happens when the real predators from other locales come to eat you? Now you don't have your own predators to protect you. Oh, well. But you don't need no man. You can fight just as well. I took a female self-defense course. I just need him into pools. That'll work. Yeah. The effect that'll have is it'll piss him off. And then he'll chop your fucking head off in addition to raping you. Or maybe he'll chop your head off and then rape you. Whatever. Dopey broads. Don't help women. Don't help them, okay? Sorry, ladies, if you're listening to this, but you did it to yourself with your feminism and your man hate. You've driven men to not want to have anything to do with you. And while we have this natural inclination to want to help you built into our biology, it's now bad for us. It's now bad for us to act on our natural inclinations. So we have to fight those urges, gentlemen. You have to fight these urges, not forever, until women learn that they do need men and that they stop attacking us. And you can't enable the attack upon us, which is going to destroy Western civilization, by the way, by helping them, okay? And allowing them to continue to bash and destroy men. No. Let them fend for themselves out there in the wild until they learn. Stop being white knight pussies and protecting them. They brought this on themselves. This dopey broad certainly did. Don't help them fix their cars. Don't help them fix their bikes. Some broad's having a heart attack. Don't give her CPR. Don't help them at all. Zero aid. All right, let's move on. Oh, this is great. I love this shit. Venezuela. Wow, that country is going to hell. Going to hell. Well, it's already hell, actually. In fact, food is worth more than cocaine there. It's great. Venezuelans are marked with numbers to stand in line at government supermarkets. They got numbers put on their forearms. Kind of like the Jews in Auschwitz. Or when they were still in Germany. You must wear your yellow star so we can identify you. It's hard to get a sense of what a food shortage is like unless you've lived through one. But this tidbit from Venezuela serves as a chilling illustration. The lines to get into government supermarkets. Government. Because, the government sees the majority of the ways and means of production in Venezuela. So now they have government supermarkets. For so long, the people mark their arms with their place in line. It's not a permanent tattoo. Oh, well, then it's okay. just a pen. But the point is to make sure that the long lines stay as orderly as possible. Let's take a look at this line. It's great. Woo. There's the line. Look at that. It's around the block. It's around the block, man. Holy shit. Can you? That's just like in communist Russia. It's amazing. Wherever you implement socialism, that wasn't real socialism, but it always looks the same. They're all different, right? Oh, it's a different experiment. That wasn't real socialism. That wasn't real socialism. But wherever they try to implement it, and whatever differences these Bernie Sanders of the world try to say exist within those countries that made it fail, it always looks the same. Long lines of people waiting for shit, waiting for bread. They'd probably be happy to get shit. Is there nutritional value to shit? I've seen dogs eating shit, so I don't know. So there's the line, and there's the number. No, that's the cruise ship. Whoops. Skipped. Sorry. That's the line. There we go. Got a lot of fucking little buttons here all clustered together. I clicked the wrong one. Venezuelans are being marked with numbers to stand in line at government supermarkets. My God. Yeah. That's exactly like the Jews in Auschwitz. Here's your number, Jew rat. We'll burn you when we get to your number. Luckily, some of them got real high numbers and lived through the war. Some of them were more useful than others, so yeah, they survived. And then some of them got fed chocolate bars by U.S. troops and died because they hadn't eaten in a while and shock to their system killed them. Oh, boy. Yeah, so the lines are long. It looks like this. The road to serfdom in Venezuela just got real. Human tattooing for food privileges. Oh, my God. According to a source familiar with what's going on, this number scribbling takes place outside large cities like Caracas, and it doesn't happen in private supermarkets. No food in those anyway. However, private supermarkets can set a limit to the number of items a person can buy. For example, you can only pick up 4 liters of milk, 2 liters of oil, 2 kilos of sugar. 2 liters of oil? I guess that's for cooking, but what else? I mean, what about the stuff you would actually cook? You can't cook sugar. Well, you could, but it would turn to a liquid. We drank sugar for dinner. Yummy! We could die of diabetes early. And that's if the market even has those items. That's crazy. Yeah. There's a limit on those goods. I guess those are the most rare and uncommon goods. And that's if the market has them. People also have numbers on their ID cards which decide which days they can even get into line to shop at supermarkets. So those long lines are not everybody. So they're told you show up on this specific day. Because if they had everybody showing up on the same day, the whole fucking city would be out there in line. And it's crazy. Yeah, they can even get in line, before they even get in line at supermarkets like San Cristobal's Bicentenaria. Protests taking place all over the country aren't helping either. Demonstrators have been building barricades, which are slowing the flow of goods from place to place. So Maduro, Armando Mirando, vice president of the Taquera State Bakeries Association, told AFP that San Cristobal could run out of bread by Tuesday. Imagine that, running out of bread in a socialist country. That's never happened before. We already have shortages. We've already had shortages before, and now nothing is arriving, Mirando said after addressing a peace conference organized by the government to end the protests, but shunned by the opposition as a sham. Most shops and restaurants are closed in the city of 260,000 people. On Friday, Maduro got on TV and said that smuggling food into the country is more profitable than selling cocaine. And they're using bitcoins to do it, by the way, because the local currency ain't worth the paper it's printed on. If you had to stand in this line in San Cristobal, you would understand why. Wow. Wow, 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 wee. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's take a look at that line again. Oh, my God. Number 2. Is that number 2? All right. Wow. Yeah. So 1 day in 7. So that's like 1/7 of the city's population in line. Fucking A. Yeah. No wonder they ate all the dogs and the cats and the animals in whatever zoos were in the country. We're not really a productive capitalist country anymore, so we can't afford to have zoos. Nobody's going to the zoo. Nobody's paying us to come into the zoo, so we have no food to buy money to feed the animals. And even if we did, there's no food to buy. And the cost of importing the food would be so much. It costs more than cocaine. Can you imagine that? That's got to be a good business. Maybe I should get into that business. Maybe I should go smuggle food into Venezuela. I'd make a bundle. Woo, that's a good business, man. Food smuggling. I mean, I guess it's risky, but I'd go buy some drones. Drones are cheap here. Fly in a can of tuna, make $200. Tuna's like $200 a kilo. It's crazy. I think a fucking drone could handle one can of tuna. I could make a fortune. That's something to think about. If you want to make a fortune, this is the place to do it, right? See, market forces decide. If you reduce the amount of food, any resource that people need to a certain level, that scarcity drives up the fucking value. People need food, right? That's like that old saying that, you love gold, but if there's no water, water suddenly becomes more valuable than gold, baby. You can't eat gold. You can't drink gold. I mean, you could try, but if it was in liquid form, it'd fuck you up. Like that poor guy in Game of Thrones who got that fucking gold poured on his head in season 1. Oh, fucking A. But, yeah. And they're using Bitcoin now to smuggle in food, to pay the smugglers, right? The drone will be like hovering in the sky, and then they'll get a text message. Okay, send me the X amount of Bitcoins, and then I'll lower the drone. And then they hit the little button, send button on their phone, and then the drone flies down, and then the person flies it back over the border. A lot of these drones are automated, right? There's apps on your phone that can automate the drone to fly right back to you. And you can program it to go to a specific place. I'm not shitting you. And there's some big drones, baby. There's some big fucking drones. Now, of course, you might be saying, well, why don't these hungry people just steal the drone and then sell the drone? What? No, because then they'd get no more food. You can't bite the hand that feeds you when you got no food, right? You can afford to bite the hand that feeds you when you got plenty of food. You got a bunch of other saps that are willing to feed you, like in America, with feminists, with Wayman, okay? They can afford to bite men's hands ad infinitum because the government's are always going to be there stealing from you to give to them. So, if they can't facilitate the exchange of goods and services, usually it's one way, though, them getting goods and them giving you no services, if they can't facilitate that, they'll just bite your hand and they'll find some other sucker to feed them, right? Or the government. But they can't do that in Venezuela. They can't do that there. So, yeah, they have to play nice with the smugglers, the food smugglers. Some of these drones are big motherfucking drones that can carry many kilos worth of food. It's a good investment. Good investment. Yeah, we will sell tuna to Venezuelans for the same price of cocaine. More. And they will use that fucking money to buy cocaine wholesale. We'll charge retail cocaine prices for tuna, and then we will buy 5 times that amount at wholesale value, and then we'll sell that cocaine in America. And then recycle some of that other money to buy more tuna that we will then sell to them, and then we'll use the proceeds to buy even more cocaine, and then more black market food. Black market for them, but we can get it very easily because we're not idiots that destroyed our country with fucking socialism. It's great. Food costs more than cocaine in Venezuela. I love it. I love it. Ooh, socialism's never been tried before. That's not real socialism. Yeah, okay, pinheads. Woo! I love it. I love it. All right. Yeah, bread shortages, bread lines. Oh, my God. Maduro. Oh, geez. That guy, I still remember that motherfucker sitting there eating a ham sandwich on TV while he's talking about food shortages. Yeah, I know you're all hungry. Pulls out I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled out a slice of pizza at the same time. He's doing the two-hand eating thing with a big glass of milk there. But we'll fix the food shortage as he tries to talk around the food in his mouth. Don't worry, people. You'll be eating as well as I am soon. Why did they kick this motherfucker out of office long ago? Oh, he took away the guns, and they let him take away the guns because, they would rather feel secure than have freedom. And, of course, if you want security and you give up your freedom, you get neither. You get neither because you get tyranny from your own fucking government, which is, by the way, why the American government wants to take away your guns. And if you think that any other reason besides Tyranny is the reason they want to take away your guns. You're a moron. They want to take away your guns so that they can rule over you, so that they can control you, so that they can continue to push the boundaries of what's normal and acceptable. And when you get to the point where you're ready to fight back, where you're willing to fight back, too late. You already gave up your guns, like they did in Venezuela. All right, that's it for this episode of The Realist Philosopher. La la la. If you enjoy, please like and subscribe to this channel. And I very much recommend that you stop being lazy and go and subscribe on BitChute. Excuse me. Subscribing on YouTube is a temporary measure because they're cleaning house. They're getting rid of any conservative, right-wing, traditionalist, or sane, rational, reasonable people who make good arguments. They're getting rid of all those people. They're going to have an echo chamber of all leftist, feminist, intersectional, LGBTQ nut jobs eventually. And anybody that doesn't agree with them, who are 8% of the population, these radical leftists, well, you're going to be out of luck. So go follow me on BitChute. And for those of you who don't know what BitChute is, it's a blockchain platform, no censorship, 100% open and free to say and do whatever you want within reason. No pedophilia, no whacking off people's heads, okay? No throwing gay people off roofs and recording it in Muslim countries and putting it up on YouTube or BitChute or whatever. None of that, okay? Obviously. Thank God. But you have freedom of speech, okay? You have freedom of speech on BitChute, and I have an actual bigger channel on BitChute at the moment in terms of subscribers than I do on YouTube. So go follow me there, okay? I'm still in the process of uploading all my content to YouTube. When I've done that, I'll start loading it up to BitChute as well. Okay, I can only do so much. I'm a busy guy. I'm juggling everything I can, and my upload speeds suck. It takes me half an hour or more just to upload one fucking video to YouTube. It takes a long fucking time. My download speeds are good, but my upload speeds are shit. So, yeah, for me to get anything done takes a fucking while. It's life. You gotta accept it. But when I can and do get around to it, I'll be uploading, all new content equivalently between all my platforms. But right now I got a backlog, so it'll take a while. But go subscribe on BitChute, please. Also follow me on Twitter, Facebook. Every time I post a new piece of content, I put a notification on those platforms so you'll know when new content is posted. And by the way, if you're wondering why you don't get notifications on YouTube, it's because you didn't click the little bell. Right beside the subscribe button, there's a little bell, and you have to click it to get notifications. I would think that would be automatic, but they require you to take this extra step and click that bell. So click that bell, subscribe. And also, if you like my content, consider donating, for God's sake. Consider donating. I am not a communist. I am not a socialist. I believe in incentivization and that quality comes from positive incentives. So if you like my content, enjoy my content, and want me to continue making content, and also have access to me personally, you can send me emails and I'll respond, give you whatever advice I can, maybe talk about stories you want me to talk about, or even have you on the show or talk to you about whatever you might want my input on, then donate. And then you can get that kind of in-depth access to me. So that would be, if that's something that interests you. So go to therealistphilosopher.com/donate. I'm on Subscribestar. You can donate there, a one-time basis or a monthly subscription type basis. I have a Tippy Stream account, which allows you to donate using PayPal, which is very easy. Most people have a PayPal account. I also have Patreon, but most people don't like Patreon so much. I got a lot of people who were saying to me, Realist Philosopher, get something else other than Patreon, please. They suck and I hate them because they throttle free speech. So, yeah. So I'm on other platforms. You can find the links at therealistphilosopher.com/donate. If you don't want to lose track of me again, just follow me on these other platforms and remember my website, which has links to all of them. And I'm also on DLive. And those of you watching on DLive and watching on YouTube or whatever, I don't have access to my chat channel. I have a shitty internet connection. To make sure that I don't have lots of drop frames during this show, I have to minimize the amount of windows that I have open because that eats up bandwidth. I've already lost 80 frames this show, drop frames 80. That's like 4 seconds, which isn't horrible, but it would be a lot worse if I tried to open up chat function during the show. So also you can donate on DLive. They have their own crypto coin on DLive where you buy some Lino coins and they go up in value. You could sell the Lino coins back to DLive, I believe. So just like any crypto coin, you can make profit off it. And it allows you also to make safe, anonymous donations. And also the Patreon is safe and anonymous if you donate to me via TipeeeStream, because they get paid and then they take a small 2-3% and then they pay me. So I never know who you are. You don't know who I am. So if you donate via TipeeeStream with Patreon, it's with PayPal, it's 100% anonymous. But also DLive allows you to make crypto coin donations. These are a lot of ways that you can support my work. All right. And if you're wondering, why don't I have a larger following? I did it one time and then I vanished. I had to go away and now I'm back. But I was always making content, but on other platforms. So I'm back. I want to consolidate all you that love my content onto other platforms so you can keep abreast of my content, know where I am, and continue to follow me, even after the inevitable purge that is probably coming on some of the mainstream tech platforms. You got to go non-mainstream, people. You got to go unorthodox in terms of your social media. Gab, I have a Gab. Find it in the description. DLive account, find it there. It's also based on blockchain technology. And again, BitChute. I have an Instagram. Follow me in all these. I guess that's enough. That's enough self-promotion. That's what you're expected to do on your own show. Makes sense, but that's enough. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. If you're wondering why I changed the time, I'm trying different times. See what's best in terms of getting as many live viewers as possible. And also, this is more convenient for me this week. So for those of you that were watching at 10 to 11 a.m. New York City time before, I apologize. Again, I want to find that perfect time that works best for me and gets the maximal number of live viewers if such a time even exists. Anyhow, I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day.